All right, so the paradoxes of cybersecurity. There's many of them, and I've been thinking about this for a while. Is it really even worth creating a video about? I don't really think so, but it's a thought experiment, so you can click off the video. Basically, by no means am I condoning this here. You need a certain number of bad actors or hacking groups, whatever you want to call them, in order for you to have a day job in cybersecurity. And this makes like a very interesting kind of catch-22. Of course, you don't want to promote bad dark hat hacking, but at the same time, if you don't have those users or don't have a population of people performing those activities, however sophisticated they are, your industry ceases basically to exist. As a security professional, you are empowered, perhaps compelled, to protect, defend, deter those particular circumstances from happening, whether that is protecting a user from a user itself, an operating system with vulnerable code on it, an application. It could be really anything. And if you are in a threat group, a hacking group, hacktivists, you are using those inherent vulnerabilities to establish or further your means of motivation, whether that's mostly financial, but it can also be political activism. Kind of interesting. So what's interesting is if we didn't have those inherent vulnerabilities, we'll take the user out of it for a moment. You know, people are vulnerabilities, but for example, if we didn't have a vulnerable code base, we didn't have the architecture of the internet that exists today, because it wasn't founded on secure principles in mind, we really wouldn't have necessarily as big of or even really a cybersecurity industry, which is kind of an interesting thought experiment to think about. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, that's not reality. Reality is the internet was founded on basically some archaic principles that at the time seemed very good, but as time gone on, of course, things happened. Vulnerable code is continually pushed out on production systems. Think Microsoft Windows, even to this day. And users are inherently vulnerable. They're gullible, myself included. I certainly at times can be like this. So this is counterintuitive to say, and again, I'm not promoting any sort of bad activity, but if you didn't have a certain number of individuals, groups, exploiting those inherent vulnerabilities, then you really wouldn't have a job, and a well-paying job for that matter. So perhaps you've thought about this before. I mean, this is inherently not just a security problem or industry problem, it's a life problem. But when you think about our industry with this paradox, what can you do? Well, I would argue continue to fight for the good guys. Continue to fight for the good guys. Be on the defender's end. Even if you are in a penetration testing red team, you're still very much so helping the security of a company, a business, nonprofit, whatever it is. So I recommend that you continue to do that. There's a lot of stress, burnout, but it's also a well-paying, meaningful job, and an interesting thought experiment nonetheless. And if you think about individuals, maybe today you can go to bed thinking, thank you, hacker, for keeping me employed. I mean, really, I'm being not serious here, but in a way it is true. Our industry is created basically on the idea of vulnerability. And if we didn't have vulnerability, whatever that it is, we wouldn't have day jobs. So think about that the next time you're trying to pursue your industry career in security. Oh, gosh. Anyway, interesting thought experiment video. Probably shouldn't have even posted this, but why not? It's been sitting on my video list for like a year, and I thought I would just do it. So you know what it is. Until the next time, have a good day, and fight for the good guy.